Hi everyone, I'm Olivia Jackson, a second grade teacher at Riverside Elementary. 5 years ago, I thought I had the perfect life. I married George Martinez, a corporate lawyer who seemed like the ideal partner. Together, we were blessed with beautiful twin daughters, Yasmin and Crystal, now 4 years old. They're my whole world, filling our home with laughter and creativity. But my perfect life slowly unraveled, thanks to my monster-in-law. It started with little jabs, like during one of Charlotte's infamous surprise visits last month. "Your girls are getting so big, Olivia," she began sweetly. Then her tone shifted. "But I couldn't help noticing Yasmin is wearing the same dress as last week. Don't tell me George isn't providing enough for proper clothes." The implication stung, but I kept my composure. "The girls pick their own outfits, Charlotte. It's important for their independence." "Independence? They're 4," she scoffed. "This is exactly what I was telling George about your unusual parenting methods." At lunch the next day, my best friend Noah, a fifth grade teacher at my school, noticed my stress. "Charlotte again," he guessed. I sighed. "She's everywhere, no." Yesterday, she reorganized my entire kitchen while I was at work. Apparently, I'm not efficient enough. "That's not normal," Noah said firmly. My sister went through something similar. It didn't end well. When I brought it up with George, his response was dismissive. "She's just being helpful. Mom knows best," he said with a shrug. But Charlotte's meddling wasn't just limited to my parenting. Rumors started circulating around town. "Did you hear what she told Barbara at the grocery store?" Noel asked me one day. "That you're working too much and neglecting your family." I froze. She said what? As if that wasn't bad enough, a week later, I caught her in my bedroom, rummaging through my closet. "These clothes aren't appropriate for a mother," she declared, holding up my favorite dress. "George agrees. You should dress more conservatively." "George doesn't get to decide what I wear, and neither do you," I snapped. "Oh, sweetie," she said, with mock sympathy. "A wife should always consider her husband's preferences." I raised him to expect certain standards. That night, George came home late, as usual. When I confronted him, he was defensive. "Mom's just trying to help, Olivia. Why can't you appreciate that? She raised me alone, you know." "I'm not asking for her help, George," I said, barely keeping my frustration in check. "I'm asking for respect in my own home." "Maybe if you did things more her way," he started, but I cut him off when I noticed a new house key on his keychain. "Did you make a copy of our house key? She might need to check on things when we're not home." "It's just easier this way," he replied casually. That night, I lay in bed feeling like a stranger in my own house. But the worst was yet to come. Charlotte started showing up every day after school. One afternoon, I came home to find her rearranging the living room. "This furniture layout was blocking the energy flow," she explained. "And honestly, these throw pillows. Tacky." As I opened my mouth to respond, my phone buzzed. A bank notification for a large withdrawal from our joint account. "Oh, George mentioned he needed extra cash for a work event," Charlotte said, not even looking up. "What work event?" I demanded. "He never mentioned it." "Oh, sweetheart," she cooed, "he probably didn't want to worry your pretty little head about it. I've been helping him manage the finances. He's always been terrible with money, just like his father." Later that night, I confronted George again. "Why is your mother involved in our bank accounts?" "She's helping out," he said dismissively. "She gave me $50,000 last month for an investment opportunity." "Investment? Why wasn't I informed?" "Because you just complicate things," he said. "Mom knows what she's doing." The breaking point came during parent-teacher conferences. I was discussing a student's progress when Charlotte stormed into my classroom. "There you are," she yelled. "How dare you keep my grandchildren from me? They're Martinez blood, not yours." The parent I'd been meeting with looked horrified. "Mrs. Jackson, should I come back later?" Before I could respond, Charlotte continued. "This woman kidnapped my son's children. She's poisoning them against their father." Noel rushed in, drawn by the commotion. "Charlotte, you need to leave now, or I'm calling the police." "Go ahead, call them," she shouted. "Let them know how she's alienating those precious girls from their grandmother." The principal had to escort Charlotte out while she screamed about lawyers and grandparents' rights. I was mortified. "I got it all on video," Noel whispered, discreetly showing me his phone. "You'll need evidence of this behavior." That evening, while George was working late, again, I found a stack of bank statements in his home office. multiple accounts I'd never seen before, all managed by Charlotte. Looking for something, George's voice cut through the silence. He stood in the doorway, his expression dark with anger. Care to explain why your mother has access to accounts I didn't even know existed? I demanded, holding up the papers. You're going through my private things now? Mom was right about you. You're becoming unstable. Unstable? I'm not the one hiding money and letting my mother run our marriage. She's worried about the girl's safety, George shot back, his voice rising. She says you've been acting erratic at school. She caused a scene at my workplace. I shouted. She's the one who's erratic. She wouldn't have to check on you if you were a better mother and wife. Maybe if you cooked like her, kept house like her. I'm calling my lawyer, I said, shaking with rage. Mom already spoke to her friend at Thompson and Associates, he said with a smug grin. No lawyer in town will take your case. Face it, Olivia. You're alone in this. Noah's words echoed in my mind. Some people don't show their true nature until they think they have you trapped. This wasn't just meddling anymore. This was a calculated effort to isolate and control me. But they had no idea who they were dealing with. I started recording everything. If they wanted to play dirty, I could play too. The truth hit me like a truck the next day. I stopped by George's office to surprise him with lunch. His secretary, Amy, was sitting on his desk, his hands where they shouldn't be. Oh, Olivia, Amy stammered, straightening her skirt. I was just helping George with some filing. Really? On his desk? I asked, my voice icy. It's not what you think, George stammered. Actually, it's exactly what I think, I snapped. Let me guess. Your mother introduced you. Amy respects family values, right? Tradition. Authority? Mothers? I stormed out, only to find Charlotte waiting for me in the parking lot. Finally figured it out, did you? She sneered. Amy's a much better match. She knows her place. That night, Yasmin wet her bed for the first time in 2 years. Grandma says you're sick in the head, Mommy, she whispered. Are you going away? I held her close, my heart breaking. Never, baby. Who told you that? Grandma. She tells everyone at church we need to pray for you. The next day, I was served with papers. Charlotte was suing for grandparents' rights, claiming I was mentally unstable and unfit to parent. Noah, I need your help, I said, my voice trembling. This is getting dangerous. Already on it, he replied. That weekend, we installed security cameras around the house while George was conveniently away on a work retreat with Amy. It didn't take long for Charlotte to slip up. The following Tuesday, the cameras caught her sneaking in, planting prescription bottles in my nightstand. Found these in Olivia's room, she later told George. She's been hiding her medication. Who knows what else she's hiding? Her plan backfired spectacularly when I started digging into George's past. His high school sweetheart reached out after hearing rumors about me. Charlotte did the same thing to me, she confessed. Planted things in my car. Spread rumors I was unstable. George believed every word. Then she introduced him to my replacement, his college girlfriend. What happened to her? I asked. Same story, different year. Charlotte always finds a better woman, until they start having opinions of their own. Meanwhile, the twins' nightmares worsened. Crystal clung to me at school drop-off. Grandma says you're taking us away from Daddy, she sobbed. I knew I had to act fast. I contacted a lawyer in the next town, far enough from Charlotte's reach. We need everything documented, my lawyer advised. Every visit, every lie, every penny she's stolen. This isn't just meddling, it's systematic financial and emotional abuse. When George found me packing one night, he blocked the door. Where do you think you're going? Away from you and your mother's sick games, I said, my voice steady but sharp. Mom says you're having another episode. Maybe we should consider inpatient treatment. Maybe you should consider growing a spine, I snapped. The girls need their grandmother. The girls need therapy because of their grandmother, I shot back. They're terrified of her. They're fine, George insisted. Mom says. Mom says. Do you even hear yourself? I grabbed my pre-packed bags, every detail of my escape meticulously planned. The security footage was backed up, the bank statements copied, the evidence secured. They thought they had me cornered, but they had no idea what was coming. The day I left was just the beginning. I moved in with Noah temporarily while my lawyer built our case. But Charlotte couldn't stand losing control. Late one night, no security cameras caught her breaking into his house. "I'll show them what an unsafe environment looks like," she muttered, pulling a bag of drugs from her purse. Too bad the police were watching the live feed. "Mrs. Martinez, you're under arrest for breaking and entering and attempted evidence planting." And with that, the dominoes started to fall. George's firm launched an audit after Charlotte accidentally copied them on an email about redistributing client funds. "Mrs. Martinez has been forging signatures and embezzling client money for years," the managing partner revealed. "George, we trusted you with our biggest accounts." "Mom was just trying to help with investments," George stammered. "Help? She stole millions. You're fired, and we're pressing charges." As George's professional life crumbled, his sister Sarah came forward. "She destroyed my marriage too," Sarah confessed. "Told everyone I was cheating when she was the one setting my husband up with his coworker." The firm's investigation unearthed even more. Charlotte had been sabotaging George's cases, calling clients to change meeting times, and driving away his biggest accounts. In court, my lawyer laid everything bare: the planted evidence, the financial records, Charlotte's criminal charges, and George's affair. "Your Honor," my lawyer declared, "these children deserve protection from this systematic abuse." The judge agreed. Full custody was granted to me. Charlotte faced fraud charges for her pyramid scheme targeting church members. George, now jobless and disgraced, moved back in with Mommy Dearest, his law career in ruins. A week later, I got the call I'd been waiting for. "Olivia, we'd love to have you as our new head teacher." Months later, George showed up at my school. "Olivia, I'm sorry," he began, his voice heavy with regret. "I see it all now. Mom's sick. She needs help. I needed help. Our daughters needed help when they were crying every night." "Save it," I replied, my tone firm. "Please, can we try again? For the girls?" "The girls are thriving without your toxic influence. They're in therapy, their nightmares are gone, and they're finally happy. Don't destroy that." "But they're my daughters too. You should have thought about that before choosing your mother over their well-being." Goodbye, George. Last week, Charlotte's face appeared in the local paper. "Local woman faces prison time for multi-million-dollar fraud." George was quoted defending her, still unable to break free from her control. Meanwhile, I was having dinner with Noah and the girls, celebrating their straight A's. "Mommy, can we get a puppy?" Yasmin asked, her eyes bright and fearless. "Please?" Crystal chimed in, no longer the timid little girl she once was. "Why not?" I smiled. "Our new house has a big yard." Noah squeezed my hand under the table. "You did it, Olivia. You broke the cycle." Looking at my happy, healthy daughters, I knew every struggle had been worth it. Sometimes the best revenge isn't about getting even. It's about getting free and letting fate handle the rest. The local news still mentions Charlotte's downfall now and then, but I'm too busy living my best life to care. My girls are safe, I'm thriving in my career, and most importantly, we're finally at peace.